Have you ever felt like you are trapped in poverty, like it's an escape room, like it's a maze, like it's someplace that feels like no matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you try, you can't get out? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can finally, once and for all, for the rest of your life, escape the poverty programming trap. Because poverty program, why do I say escape the poverty programming trap? Because poverty can't exist in your experience unless it first exists in your expectation or in the expectation of someone who was responsible for you while you were growing up in the world. So we have to understand that poverty is a mindset, just like wealth is a mindset. And we talked about that on other videos, like the difference between rich people, poor people, and middle-class people is not how much money they have, but it's how they think about money and what they think the primary purpose of money is. Poor people think the primary purpose of money is paying bills, so therefore every time they get some money, they go pay some bills. So to them, it's not even payday, it's transfer day. We talked about the fact that to middle-class people, they think the primary purpose of money is to buy things they can't afford and pay their bills on time so they can maintain good credit, so they can buy more things they can't really afford. But rich people believe that the primary purpose of money is to turn it into more money before you spend any of the money that you just made. That's the mindset that makes the difference. That's the programming that makes the difference between poor people, rich people, and middle-class people. Now, why do we talk about programming? What's another reason we talk about programming? We talk about programming because understand this, we will never behave consistently in a way that's inconsistent with our programming. Your programming produces more of your results than your conscious thinking does. Like it's ingrained in you, it's ingrained in me, but you can change the programming. And if you've been programmed for poverty, you will be poor until you change the programming. So what I'm gonna do in this video is show you how to escape the poverty programming trap. So what's the first thing you have to do? Well, you have to understand that poverty programming is a trap and that you need to escape. There's a verse in scripture, it says in Proverbs 6:4, it says, Proverbs 6:4, it says, give not sleep to thine eyes, nor slumber to thine eyelids. Deliver thyself, that's talking about escaping, as the roe from the hand of the hunter, as a bird from the hand of the fowler. So you have to escape from sleep like you escape from, like a deer escapes from a hunter, like a bird escapes from a bird trapper. Okay, and then it says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide or overseer or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer and gathereth her food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands of sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that traveleth, and thy want as an armed man. So poverty, one of the things we have to do if we want to escape the poverty programming trap is we have to learn how to have a vehement hatred for poverty. Like, the reason I'm not poor is because I hate poverty so much, I beat it as far away from my door as I possibly could, and then I beat it some more. I hate poverty. I hated and maybe you don't. Maybe you hate not having other people's approval more than you hate not having your own autonomy. I don't know. Maybe you hate people thinking you're crazy more than you hate not having enough money in the bank. Like, Myron, you're so obsessed with money. I don't really care if you think that. I don't care. I hate being broke more than I hate you thinking that. And until you hate, like, being broke and having to rob Peter to pay Paul until there's a knock on the door one day, and it's Peter and Paul, and they're both there standing with their hands out talking about, I want my money today. Right? If you're tired of living like that, I got tired of living like that. I got tired of living a life where I made this beautiful woman all these great promises, and now here she is, 8 months pregnant with our first child, and our electricity and our water are both disconnected. Not because I wasn't willing to work hard, I was working hard, but what I was working on wasn't working for me. It was working on me, but it wasn't working for me. And I got tired of having to tell my children no before I even knew what the question was because I knew we didn't have enough money to buy it. I got tired. I hated the fact that when we got ready to go on vacation, after working hard for a whole year, we're going to take a 2-week vacation. We're going to take 2 days and drive from Pennsylvania to Florida because we lived in Pennsylvania at the time. My wife's parents lived in Florida. I said Pennsylvania to Florida. Pennsylvania to Texas. My wife's parents lived in Texas. We drive for 2 days to spend 10 days with our in-laws, and then drive for 2 days to get back home. I hated that that's what vacation was. Vacation wasn't going to Hawaii. It wasn't going to Greece. It wasn't going to Israel. It wasn't going to Europe or going to Mexico or going to Canada and spending the day, spending a week in Banff. It was just like you go and you work on vacation so you can spend time with your family because there's no other time you can. I hated it. I hated it. I hated everything about it. I hated the fact that the 4 months of my married life that I was on welfare, yes, I was on welfare for 4 months. I hated when I was sitting in that welfare office and that woman said to my wife, she said, we could give you more money if he wasn't in the house. First of all, he has a name. Second of all, it's not the house, it's our house. And you see how I got an attitude. You say, why? Because I hate poverty. I hate what it does to people. I hate that poverty forces people to eat junk food because they can't afford real food. I hate the fact that poverty causes people to drive raggedy cars that cause them to get in accidents because they can't afford a car that'll keep them safe. I hate poverty. And until you hate poverty, you will not beat it far away from the door enough that you don't have to deal with it anymore. So you have to hate poverty. That's like you want to escape the poverty program trap? Develop a disgust with being broke. Develop a disgust with not having enough money. The love of money is the root of all evil. That's right, the love of money is the root of all evil. But you don't even know what that verse means. Like people who quote it to me on YouTube, it literally makes me chuckle every time I read it. Money's the root of all evil. First of all, it doesn't say that. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. Myron, it does say love money. It does say love money is the root of all evil, but the key word in that verse is the word all, which means all types, all manner, all kinds. It does not mean all, every single solitary. The love of money is clearly not the root of every single solitary evil in the world. Think about it. It can't be. If that were the case, Adam and Eve would have eaten the fruit because the serpent paid them. The love of money is not the root of every single solitary evil. The love of money is the root of all types, all kinds, all manner of evil. What does it mean? The love of money is the root of all evil means people will do all types of things if they love money, right? For the love of money, people will sell drugs to children. For the love of money, pharmaceutical companies will sell drugs to the population that they know will harm them. For the love of money, cigarette companies will sell tobacco. The love of money is the root of all types, all kinds, all manner of evil. That's what it means. So if you want to quote it in its context with its definitions and understand what you're talking about. Anyway, I hate poverty. I hate it. I loathe it. It's disgusting to me. I hate what it does to people. I hate what it does to families. I hate the arguments that it causes between husbands and wives and the arguments that it causes between children and parents. And I hate the fact that there are people living in the dark right now because they don't have money. There are people living under a bridge because they don't have money. At some point in their life, they did not hate poverty enough to beat it away from the door. And I hate it that much. I really hate poverty. I hate inconvenience. I hate being hassled. For instance, when I fly, I only fly on private jets. People think I'm flexing. I'm not flexing. I just hate TSA. I hate it. It's so stupid. It's like they find the dumbest people in the world, and they give them this job, and they wanted to be a CIA agent, and they couldn't pass the test, so they could be a TSA agent, and they think they're a CIA agent, and they think they're saving the world from me. Because I have a brace on my leg. Oh, well, no, we got to take you to the back room. We have to scan. We have to see the top of the... No, you don't. I go through TSA all the time. And I'm TSA free. And it doesn't matter. If one wants to flex, if a TSA agent wants to flex, there's nothing you can do. You have no recourse. I hate that. So I fly private, so I don't have to go through that. I hate the fact that, the airports lose your luggage. If you miss your flight, flat out of luck. But if they cancel your flight, you're still flat out of luck. I hate it. So I'm going to make enough money so that poverty doesn't impact me in negative ways because I hate it. When you hate poverty, I love having a choice. Money gives me choices. Myron, do you love money? I love having a choice, and I hate poverty. What do I mean when I say hate poverty and hate poverty's partners? What are poverty's partners? Poverty has a lot of partners. I'm going to name 4 partners that poverty has. I'm going to name 4 partners of poverty that you have to hate, and you have to hate them enough to keep them away from you, far enough away from you, so they don't rob you of all your chances. So the first one that I'm going to name is sleep, and I'm going to put sleep/laziness. The Bible says, "Love not sleep." This is what it says: "Love not sleep, lest thou come to poverty." Some people, oh, you love sleep. I don't love sleep. I sleep because it's essential. I like the way sleeping makes me feel. I like the way it makes me feel. I like feeling rested more than I like feeling tired, but I don't love sleep. Sleep is not an objective in itself. It's an objective for an objective. And that objective is to be rested enough to go out and create something that other people value enough to pay me for it so I can live my life without being in poverty, because I hate poverty. I know I've said that a bunch of times, but I'm emphasizing that because I am telling you, until you get to the point where you hate poverty, like when I was poor, I hated poverty enough not to watch the electronic income reducer. What's that? Television. For some people now, it's their smartphones, right? I hated poverty enough not to watch television. I'm not going to watch other people live their dreams while I'm living a nightmare, right? I hated it. I hated poverty enough. Like, my daughter was a teenager. She's the youngest. She was a teenager when we had a television, like with channels. She was probably 14, 15, 16 years old before we had a television. Why? Because I finally felt like I was making enough money where I could afford to watch television. I wasn't going to watch it while I was broke. Why? Because I hated laziness. I hate sleep. So sleep, that's one. Two, gluttony. I don't even know how to spell gluttony. So we're just going to, I probably didn't spell it right. Gluttony. You spell it. I can't believe this. He's doing a YouTube video. He didn't even spell check. Good. When you do your YouTube videos, spell check. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. See, you hate misspelled words. I hate poverty. Like, everybody has their thing they hate. It's okay. Be yourself, okay? So gluttony. What do I mean? Like, gluttony is a poverty programming trap. Here's what the scripture says. The drunkard and the glutton shall lie down together, and drowsiness will clothe the man with rags. It says, woe, the scripture says, woe unto you, O land, when your princes eat. When your king is a child, woe unto you, O land, when your king is a child, and when your princes eat in the morning for drunkenness and not for strength. So the scripture says we should, like, gluttony, like eating too much. Why? Because when you eat too much, you don't have enough energy to go out and fight poverty away from your doorstep. Right? So gluttony, okay? Drunkenness.